Hello YouTubers, what we're going to do today is we're going to use Silhouette's holographic sticker paper to print and cut some stickers. They are pretty cool, but there's a couple little things you need to know before you try to make some. So let me go show you what you need. Alright, so we're going to use Silhouette's sticker paper, holographic sticker paper. It's $10 for 8 sheets. They also have an iridescent version. They may have more, I don't know, but I got these off Amazon. They're not the only way to make holographic markers on the market. They are what I had right now, and they're going to work on a future project, which is what I wanted. So no, there's other options out there if you don't want to do it this way, but this is what we're using today, and it's a print and cut activity. So if you hate print and cut, this may not be for you. But I will tell you, so straight out of the packet, they have no iridescent on the corner for the registration marks to print. The only time I used this, it didn't print correctly. See, my Frenchie is not anywhere correct. So what I did was I used white sticker paper in the corners so that the machine could read that, and I didn't have any problem getting it to read after I did that. And this is just a good hack in general for supremely glossy paper, anything hard to read, or if you want to do like black paper, blue paper, you can use the sticker paper for the machine to read it. So past that, we're using a standard mat and I'm using the Cameo 4 and the Auto Blade today, but you can use any of the Cameos, 1, 2, 3, or 4. All right, so before we go set it up in the computer, this is just a standard sheet of sticker paper. It's what I normally use for all my stickery kind of things. So what I do is I just cut some off. I just cut some sticker paper off, and then I put it level with the diagonal here. And then I just fold it around the back. And then I do all 4 corners so that the registration marks can print, and I don't have to worry about it printing on the one I didn't get. But any sticker paper will work. If you have a Xeron, you can run some white copy paper through it and do the same thing. But you're going to need to put something here. Or you might get lucky and it might read for you. But if it doesn't, this is kind of the go-to trick for me. Alright, so that's what I do. And like I said, I do all 4 corners so that way I don't have to worry about how I put it in the printer to make sure it doesn't print on the one corner I didn't do. And I'm going to use my Canon Pixma printer for this. I'll leave a link down below to it. It's a little bit nicer of a printer than just kind of your basic HP. So now we're going to go to the computer and set it up. Alright, so we're in Silhouette Studio. I'm using version 4.4552. The cool thing about this one is that it will auto trace PNG files for you, so you no longer have to go over here to the butterfly. As long as they have a transparent background, it will trace it for you, which is really cool. So you can use any file you want to, PNG files, SVG files, anything you want to. So we're going to go to page setup, and we're going to have this set at letter. These are letter size pieces of paper. I'll go over here to registration marks, and we're going to turn on. Then over here on the first thing, we're going to show print border, which is the outer line, and then show cut border. And that will help us put our designs in here. So this is an SVG file actually, and I've grouped them together. I'm going to put an offset around it to give that outline effect. And I've just been using the standard offset that it comes up. And here, what I'm going to do is fill it in with white just so you can see it. Because white won't print on any printer unless you have a special white printer. And if we click it, if you look up here, see how it says 0.007 or 0.7? What that means is the line has weight around it. So you see this red little outline around it? Let's undo that real quick. See this little red outline around it? If I don't do anything, see I made it thicker. If I don't do anything, it's going to print it. So what I want to do is turn it all the way down to 0. You can still see it on your screen, but it's not going to print now. And then we can group them all together and move them wherever we want to. Now, you can't go through your cut lines, your cut marks here, and you can't put it anywhere in this hash marked area because the machine can't read it. Also, we really don't want to get things too close to it, especially if they're straight lines, because the machine can mistake it and try to read it. So keep things close, but not too close, so that the machine can read it. So now what I'm going to do is put in the rest of my designs. All right, so these are the stickers all done now. They all have their offsets. When you're picking out your designs, strong, bold designs tend to do better. Really skinny fonts, pastel colors, things like that are not going to look good on this paper. It needs to be a bigger, bolder color tends to do better than a light colors or thin colors. So now we're going to do file and print. And if you get to this part right here and any of your designs have an outline around them that you can see, you need to go back and make sure that it's set at 0.0, because if you don't, then it'll print and you'll be able to see it. So, but we got our registration marks. We're going to hit print. I'm using my Canon Pixma. Now you're going to want to come over here to preferences and change media type to glossy photo paper. The reason you're going to want to do that is because when you hit glossy, the printer puts down less ink. So that's why you're going to want to put glossy rather than like any plain paper or anything like that. So glossy, I think any of the glossy papers will work, but we're going to do glossy photo paper. And then I've just been using standard. Hit OK, and then I'm going to hit print. When you do go to print, I only have one piece of paper loaded into my printer at one time. Sometimes when you put a bunch, the printer will pull it in and skew it sometimes, and then the machine can't find the marks. So one at a time. If it is a Wi-Fi printer, mine's hardwired, but if it's a Wi-Fi printer, sometimes it can take quite a while before your printer and everybody else gets to talking. So just be patient. It's a little bit quicker if it's hardwired. There is our paper. Once it prints, I let it sit there for a little bit just so that the ink's really, really dry before you mess with it. Alrighty, so that's what our stickers look like. I just give them a minute so you're not touching them right after they printed. And see, they printed on our little white squares. So this is one of the knockoff silhouette mats. This one is actually still sticky enough to actually hold this piece of paper. If you do need to tape it, just make sure you don't tape around your registration marks. Also, you're going to want to make sure you cover this little grid mark right here, because sometimes the machines can try to read that instead of your marks. So, and now we are going to go cut it out. Alright, so we're back in Silhouette Studio and we're going to go to cut now. By default, it's going to want to cut everything, just the nature of Silhouette. So I'm going to select everything and hit no cut. And then I'm going to hit cut edge. Normally that just gives me my outline. Now for whatever reason, it's wanting to cut something in this radish. So what you're going to do if you have that problem is select it, hit ungroup. Well, it's already ungrouped. Now go back and hit no cut to turn off all of the cut lines. And then select your offset and hit cut. And see, it'll have a skinnier line, and then this guy will have a fatter line. But it means the same thing. This is just cut edge, and then this is just cutting this piece out. So, now right now, Silhouette's giving me all of this because my auto blade is not in my Cameo 4. Now, you can come down here. These are all the machines that I have. This is my Cameo 4. This is my Bluetooth Cameo 4, my Curio, and my Cameo 2. So if you need to check and move, if you get like an unavailable, make sure it's the machine that's plugged in is what's down here. So Cameo 4, and it's saying ready to load. So we're going to go over here to Holographic, sticker paper. Now the reason you're getting this is because it doesn't know what to do. If you put in an auto blade, it'll auto detect all of this. If you don't want to do that, you can come down here to cut and go down here. We're going to hit auto blade. And I've been bumping this up to 6 because it's really thick paper on a thick backing. I think they didn't eat that on purpose so you can get a kiss cut a little bit easier. So it's really thick paper, and then I've been doing 2 passes. Now you can skip all of this, moving this stuff, if you just put your blade in. So if I put my auto blade in, it's going to say detected, and it would have populated all of this by itself. So past that, we're going to load it, and we're going to hope that it reads it. You can't tell, but I have a book under here. It's about a 2.5 inch tall biology book, and it helps keep everything flat. If you're having trouble, you can try that. Because of the roll feeder in here, the Cameo 4 sits up higher. You don't have to do it in the older machines, but this Cameo 4, because this roll feeder sits up higher. So try a book if you're having the machine, it's having a hard time reading it, or if it's cutting weirdly, because it may be reading that mark a little bit wrong. We're gonna hit send and hope. Also, it sounds a bit weird cutting it out. Just know that's normal. Alright, before you unload it, double check that it cut everything like it should have. If it didn't, you can send it back through. It'll reread the registration marks and cut it again. So you can increase force, just do another pass, something like that, because this is really thick paper. Alrighty, so that is those are our stickers. And you can peel them right off. Now here's a couple of things to know. It's like I said, it's really thick paper, and it's on a thick backer. I think to make cutting it a little bit easier than like traditional sticker paper. Now, this is probably not going to go on a curved water bottle very well. It would need to go on paper really well, coloring books, things like that. But like a curved surface, I don't think it would go on very well. If it's rough or hard to stick to, it's not going to go on very well. Also, I highly doubt these are waterproof. So, like again, not a bottle. Paper, I've got it on my water heater, which is kind of curved, but it is thick paper, so keep that in mind when you decide if you're going to use this to make something. It will stick, but I don't think it's going to stick really well if it's not in a really easy place to stick to. So, I'm hoping to use these for another tutorial with some shrink ink plastic. If you can see that plastic, it shrinks, matches our sticker. And the cool thing about the holographic stickers is they have a pretty back too. And that's part of the reason I wanted to use them. So hopefully stay tuned for this tutorial soon. But that's pretty much the end of this print and cut tutorial. It's really not that easy. Just know you'd have to block the edges off, and it's thick paper, so up your settings. So if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be back with another tutorial soon. Thank you so much for watching.